Juvenile crime appears to be rising. Change may be coming in the way juvenile offenders are monitored by the court.
After a number of Fox 8 reports on problems with electronic monitoring, judges, council members, and vendors appear to be more focused than ever to find answers. Rob Messon has more.
For years now, juvenile court judges have grappled with limited jail space and limited options when it comes to dealing with juvenile offenders. But now a solution appears to be in the works.
In the last month or so, juvenile crime has started to tick up through the roof again. So something different has to happen there.
Following a series of Fox 8 reports on problems with ankle monitors and juvenile offenders who cut them off with little repercussion,
It's my daughter, but I don't know who she is anymore.
juvenile court judges, council members, and monitor providers appear to be coming to a consensus.
We had an open and honest conversation that was clearly driven by the reporting of Fox 8. And I was glad that we had that opportunity, and it moved us farther than I think we've moved before.
Juvenile court judges are now reaching out to the city to help fund a system that would provide electronic monitors for juvenile offenders as a way to avoid incarceration and teach responsibility.
Out of all the kids who told their story or talked about their life, only one kid said that he came from a household where there was parental supervision. So if there isn't parental supervision, there has to be societal supervision.
Judges say they're making progress toward adopting a system that would hold juveniles accountable if they cut off monitors or disobey the rules.
If we take each individual kid and we interact individually with the judge on every single instance a kid does wrong, and the judge interacts with that kid, we're going to have this circle that works.
Unlike the adult monitor program, which is funded by the defendant, juvenile justice leaders hope to find city funding for juvenile offenders to relieve the burden on families.
I told him you're looking at about $37,000 a month. Okay.
To handle how many juveniles?
We'd be looking at around 240-ish.
Council Criminal Justice Chair Oliver Thomas says the city has money, and he says funding for the new enhanced juvenile justice program will be a top priority in the new year. Rob Messon, Fox 8 Local First.